We are standing right at the edge of a monumental shift in human history. And the person with the blueprint for this new era? OpenAI's Sam Altman. But he's not just building technology, he's sketching out a whole new world. A world where our entire relationship with knowledge is about to get completely turned on its head. So, let's dive into this blueprint and really figure out what it means for you and me.
Okay, so the entire foundation for everything we're about to talk about, it all comes down to this one powerful idea from Sam Altman. The cost of knowledge will become zero. Now, just let that sink in for a second. All the time, all the effort, all the money we pour into just learning things could pretty much vanish. This isn't just some economic forecast. This is the fundamental rule for the world that's coming.
For basically all of history, success has been a kind of memory game, right? The person who could cram the most facts into their brain, they were the winner. Well, in the world Altman is designing, that game is officially over. We're moving into what you might call the curiosity game. From now on, the winners won't be the people with all the answers, but the ones who ask the absolute best questions.
All right, let's get into the first chapter of this blueprint. And trust me, it's a big one. We're talking about the end of studying as we've always known it, and what that means for the very definition of being smart.
You know that advice we've all heard a million times, study hard, get into a good university? Well, that's about to become a piece of ancient history. And the reason is AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. This thing will basically have all of human knowledge integrated into it. Think about it this way. Your smartphone made memorizing phone numbers totally pointless, right? Well, AGI is about to do that for memorizing, well, pretty much everything.
So this brings up a huge question. If a machine holds all the information, then what does it even mean for a human to be intelligent? And we're not talking about some far-off sci-fi future. Some people are suggesting this shift could happen as soon as 2026.
And here's the absolute bottom line. That old equation is broken. Just having a head full of facts will no longer equal intelligence. That is a massive, fundamental change in how we value the human mind.
So if that's not intelligence anymore, what is? Well, the new intelligence is all about the quality, the depth, and the creativity of the questions you ask the AI. Your value is going to come from your curiosity, your unique perspective, your vision, and honestly, this is an incredible kind of intellectual liberation. We can finally stop being walking hard drives and start focusing on true imagination.
So how do we actually get to this new world? Well, the next phase of the plan is pretty wild. It involves getting rid of the one tool that's at the center of almost all of our lives, all to prepare us for something way more profound.
Yeah, you heard me right. The smartphone. I know it sounds shocking, but this blueprint calls for the end of the very device that has basically defined our reality for 2 decades. It's on its way out.
So what could possibly replace it? A new kind of screenless device that's already being developed. And no, this is not just the next iPhone. It's a complete shift away from looking at data on a screen and toward a world where we just talk to AI. Imagine just speaking your needs into existence, without ever having to pull out a device and look down. But what's the real goal here? It's even more ambitious than you might think. This whole transition is seen as a kind of rehearsal, a practice run for a telepathic society. The idea is to free us from being slaves to our screens and bring us back to a more natural, human state of talking and communicating directly.
Okay, so we've got a new form of intelligence and brand new technology. But how does the economy work? How does anyone make a living? This brings us to the financial engine of this new world, and it's framed not as a policy, but as a gift.
The concept is called Universal Basic Income, or UBI, and Sam Altman is one of its biggest champions. The idea is actually pretty simple. AI is going to generate an unbelievable amount of wealth, and that wealth will be distributed to every single person as a regular, no-strings-attached income, just enough to make sure everyone's basic needs are met.
But here's the critical reframing. This isn't supposed to be seen as welfare. The blueprint presents it as a technology transfer, a gift to all of humanity from the AI we created. The whole point is to build an economic floor so that every single person is free to pursue higher goals, whether that's art, creativity, or just personal growth. So, all of this, it brings us to the final piece of the puzzle and to your new role in this world. Because you're not a worker anymore, not in the old sense. You become something much, much cooler. You become a wizard.
So how does this magic work? It's beautifully simple. You start with a wish, a pure intention. Let's say, I want to cure a disease. The AGI then becomes your magic wand. It does the incredibly complex work of actually developing the medicine to make it happen.
What's needed from you isn't the technical skill, but a clear purpose and a pure heart.
And that right there is the most profound shift of all. Your new job isn't about knowing the complex spells or the technical code. It's about the quality of your wishes. Your value comes from your compassion, your creativity, and the kind of future you want to bring into being. We can finally hand off the how to the AI and focus entirely on the what and the why.
And so, this entire blueprint leaves us with one final, deeply empowering question for you to think about. When you finally shed the heavy burden of knowing everything, when you are truly and completely free to create, what will you wish for?